Good evening, folks. I'm back again a few hours later than anticipated. I'm not quite at the day that I envisaged I was going to have today. I was going to come on and do this at about 4 this afternoon, but nevertheless, here I am. And here to talk about Burnley's game on Sunday afternoon against Aston Villa. Now, because of the way that the fixtures have been compiled for us at this stage of the season, it is a bit of a strange one to talk about in a way that, we play one game against Man City, and realistically, as much as we would have dreamed of a positive result from the game, we all knew that in truth we were very likely to lose, and it was about competing in the game, having some players to see, bedding in well, shining, see what company was going to do tactically, and seeing it we coped. Overall, we caught well. And then ordinarily we would have had a game against Luton who would have that would have showed us a lot more as to where we were at last week. But not to be because of Luton's stadium reconstruction. So in many ways, we haven't kicked the ball in anger for 2 weeks, aside from yesterday's friendly. And it sort of feels, in many ways, like we're starting the season again on Sunday. Now, the interesting thing about Aston Villa is, if we were playing Aston Villa of 12 months ago under Steven Gerrard, and we'd been promoted back to the Championship, and Turf Moor was going to be full, and we'd spent the money that we have in the transfer window, he would have been licking his lips. But Aston Villa's trajectory since Unai Emery came in last year has been absolutely superb, and that's exemplified by, the way that they beat Hibs 5-0 last night in the Europa Conference League. Hat-trick for Ollie Watkins, 5 goals for the team, and the way that they absolutely obliterated Everton by 4-0 last week. And on the balance of the game, Everton could have had very few complaints if they would have been on the wrong end of a 6 or 7-0 scoreline. So it will be, again, we can look to probably achieve more out of compared to the Man City game, but we must not be under any illusions that Aston Villa are a team full of, international stars back to front. We maybe have a little bit more than we would have been if Aston Villa hadn't been hit by an impromptu injury crisis at the beginning of the season with very, a relatively short-term injury to Philip Coutinho, but 2 uh, very long-term and very serious and potentially season-ending ones in the case of Emil Buendia and Tyrone Mings. So that's in our favour, as I believe that we are coming into the game with a relatively clean bill of health. But we are going to have to hold it tight and obviously look to avoid conceding an early goal like we did against Man City, because, like I say, Aston Villa are not needing any second invitations at the moment to put the ball in the net. So when they're coming into the game having scored 9 goals in 4 days without reply, it does seem ominous. However, we have to believe in ourselves. We've given a good account of ourselves against City, and of course, behind closed doors, matches don't count for much. But it was nice to hear that Jacob Brunhausen and Zeki Hamdani scored their first goals for for the club against such opposition as Manchester United yesterday, although it wasn't really Man United's first 11, but that shows, we've scored 9 goals also in 2 Premier fixtures this week, so it's nice to know that we are firing, and clearly our patterns of play have been utilised well, and this impromptu break that none of us would have wanted it's been used to good effect. And in essence, because we've made so many as 11 summer signings, one might argue that sort of a 2-week extension to our pre-season has obviously been invaluable for Vinny and for the coaching staff to, convey their ideas to the team tactically, in a way that might make them develop more quickly on the field than they otherwise would, if that makes sense, if they were having to do game preparation. So perhaps we'll hopefully see a more oiled machine on Sunday afternoon than what we otherwise would. Obviously, we're going to be hamstrung by the loss of Zaruri for the next 3 games. I still think, yes, it was a dirty challenge, but on the first night, the referee might have been overzealous and could have circled on a yellow card for that. But I suppose they're always keen on the first weekend of the fixtures, particularly to clamp down, put the marker down and be over the top with the new directives. So I would imagine that it means there will be a start for Brunhausen in this game. And I don't know, I expect that potentially Ren might start over Corey Osho, because I was infused with what I saw, but I just feel like the lad at 18 might, Corey Osho, 18 years old, not physically developed yet, might need to pump some iron in the gym and fill out a little bit before he can expect to wriggle away from defenders consistently in this league. Obviously, I believe that the key to this game is gonna be, or gonna have to be, that because of the way John McGinn finds the pockets in the number 10 position, and so will Moussa Diaby for Aston Villa, that we must be a cohesive, solid unit between midfield and defence, and there must not be pockets of space, and midfield, i.e., specifically Burge, I would say, must not allow Aston Villa to make runs into the space. We must be cohesive, and the defenders must be prepared by Ollie Watkins and Moussa Diaby to be faced up towards their own goal and dragged out of position, because they've got pace to burn in the forward areas. So it's going to be crucial that we try and limit the room and the space in the middle, but also try and make the pitch narrow. Otherwise, we're going to be severely exposed that way. And then I'm very scared about the crossing abilities of Luca Dean, because his pinpoint crossing accuracy led to, well, 1 goal last weekend and 3 goals last night. So we must attempt to dry up his supply line by getting as many blocks to his crosses in as possible. But I'm confident that with the aerial ability that we've got in defence, the defenders, all of them, because of the height that we've got now, can be purposeful and get to the ball first more often than not. I would say that the majority of the starting 11, other than, like I said, the one change for Koleosho, so injury permitting that we don't know about yet, I would stick with what we had for City. Apart from that, and I'm going to say that this game will be a 2-0 draw, because I saw enough against City to think that against weaker opposition and them, we definitely play nice patterns of football. There was good link-up play, and we waited until we conceded a goal to press against City. But if we can come out of the box early and really try and put a stamp on Aston Villa, then I definitely think that defensively, between the partnership of Pau Torres and Ezra Konza still being very much in its infancy and its embryonic stages after the injury to Mings, we saw that Newcastle were able to build up head of steam and score, 3 goals in about a half-hour period in that Newcastle game, where Aston Villa were absolutely blitzed. So I do think we can land punches on them. But whether or not I quite think that we'll be able to keep a clean sheet, I don't so much know. So I think a draw to a piece, and I'd take our first points on the board against an opposition that they've been highly coveted, and there's been a lot of media talk about them, and some people have even suggested that, like a few weeks ago, before their injury problems piled up, that they might be able to make a claim for the top 4 this season, but they haven't done the most amount of transfer activity, and I think the long-term nature of the injuries might hamper that, but I certainly expect them to be, well, somewhere between 6th and 8th, I would say, and I do think that they'll win the Europa Conference League trophy, so we will be looking at a team who are very much capable of giving anybody a game on the day. And although it's a home game and we must look to win most of our all matches, I do think anything that we can take here will be more of a point gained than a case of a missed opportunity. But I do believe in the boys, and it's just so exciting to see such an ambitious Burnley transfer window, and only on Sunday will we really all see it in practice for the first time, as I say, because against City it was what it was, but they've had 2 weeks on the training ground, played 2 friendlies, scored 9 in the process, and they all know each other a lot more than they did last time out. So, also it's to look forward to, and it'll be interesting to see whether Aaron Ramsey makes any form of appearance against his Royal club. Imagine if he was to appear off the bench and score a late winner for us. I suppose we can all, but just let's hope that we start on the front foot and that we, don't go into our shell too much. Because at times we are going to have to compromise the principles that we had last season, this season. But it'll be also quite exciting to see, just for one occasion, what playing total football against an high quality opposition does lead to. So I feel like we are sort of going into this game slightly blind, but I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, let's hope we can get something on the board. And I will be back to do a preview of the Chelsea and not a preview, excuse me, a live watch on for the Chelsea and Luton game on here tomorrow night, and I will review the game to the best of my ability sometime on Sunday evening when I get back from Moor. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me, anyone who's subscribed so far, and I promise to gain confidence and better analytics skills as I go along and provide more consistency for anybody who's interested in watching the channel. So please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and up the Clarets. And I will speak to you all soon. Bye-bye for now.